Welcome to beautiful rural Arlene, Montana, and the Double Horseshoe Ranch, home of the Mapstons since 1962. A prominent ranching and rodeo family in the state of Montana, Wes and Carol Sue Mapston raised their family here, and they grew to become top-notch PRCA cowboys and cowgirls and are still heavily involved in the Western world today. This season, each week, we want to come to their ranch table, where Carol Sue served many a meal and had many conversations of faith and forging ahead in good times and bad. It didn't matter where you came from, who you were, or how many times you came to their door, you were greeted with open arms, a warm meal, and great conversation to boot. Carol Sue is no longer with us and passed away in 2013, but her influence lives on the lives that she touched in this community and the Western world. We want to bring a little bit of this Montana ranch homestead to you and Carol Sue's memory, along with many in the Western world, and invite you to come on in. Come to the table with the CB Cowgirls, and let's sit down and talk about faith and all the things that makes us who we are today.
Hey, come on in.
From the award-winning producers of CB Cowgirls, come to the table.
Welcome. Come on in and sit down. We are just getting ready to have some chocolate cake and talk about cowboy courage. And Aunt Vicki, you baked this cake, and I know it's a pretty special recipe. So tell us a little bit about the recipe and where it came from.
I would love to, Becky. This recipe is a recipe of your great-grandmother's. It was a staple around the ranch and the CB kitchen, and as a little girl, I couldn't wait for that noon dinner bell to ring and run in, and because I knew I'd get a piece of Grandma's chocolate cake. And it's featured in a lovely cookbook here put together by Bonnie Brown and Kemper Beers, and it's called Bring 'Em On Home. And it features a lot of great recipes that we're going to be cooking some really great ones from rodeo families and learning some great lessons and visiting with some great people.
You know, coming to the table, we just really thought it was important that we just kind of take a pause, because the table has a lot of meaning to the Western world and families of the Western world, because, you know, we can laugh at a lot of things that go on in life, and we can work through a lot of things that go on in life, but it's our faith that takes us through the good times and the bad. And so this week we wanted to talk about cowboy courage. And one of my favorite scriptures in the Bible, Aunt Vicki, is Joshua 1:9, and I actually wrote it down because I want to make sure that I get it right, because it is a great scripture. And Joshua 1:9 says, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be terrified. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go." And I don't know how many times in my years of living as an adult and getting on in life that scripture has taken me through some really tough times. And the ranching world and the Western world, they see a lot of tough times. And I know our family has seen a lot of tough times, but it's our family and the Lord that's kind of forged us ahead. So
Absolutely, Becky. You know, a day-to-day, a ranching family will come to the table and sit down, and the day's events are discussed, feelings are laid out, tomorrow's are planned, and it all happens here at the table. And so, courage.
Our family, being in the rodeo business and the ranching business, it's been a generational tradition to, work things out and
Yes.
get things done. And I know you said that there was a time where Dad had to step up and take the lead in the family. And I know in Joshua had to do that.
Exactly.
You know, Moses passed away, and God said, "All right, Joshua, you are up."
It's your walk.
Yep, you're up. So we got to visit with Dad this summer, and I was really surprised when I asked him what courage meant to him, what he had to say.
I was very lucky. I grew up with with the Christensen Brothers originals, and that was quite a ride from the early days to the late days. The things I learned, the things we did, the ranches we had, the livestock we ran, the rodeos we produced, and things that went on at the ranch, and the discussions are something you never forget. Some were really good, some were funny, some weren't so good.
Faith and courage is keeping a family together for 50 years. That takes a lot of faith and courage, from being especially a rural family and ranching, farming, and eventually the rodeo business. And that's how it worked down there at Grandma Molly's house. we'd meet every morning, and oh my goodness sakes, I can tell you, going back as a kid, Dad and I'd be there, Uncle Henry'd drive in, or Grandma had coffee, and business would go on. We went through a lot in 50 years. I can't even begin to tell you everything, but you keep going, and there's times when you don't want to go to work in that rain and cold weather out there in the Willamette Valley, so you put on rain slickers and rain pants, and you get behind your dad and follow him on a little pony. Cowboys, the old Western way and stuff, when they moved out west and, trailing cattle and all that stuff, and worked a lot in the country and stuff, but a lot of other people, find courage too to go on. Well, let me put it this way. I've always felt I was blessed to get to grow up with the Christensen brothers and the family. And whenever we needed something, we got together and talked about it. And there wasn't any one time. There was good times, and there were other times we were worried. But it was family, so let's get it figured out. And by golly, most of the time it worked out. And call it faith or courage. I think call it faith and family, and courage in what you believe in. And so if you have that, things will work out.
Becky, I can't tell you how much that interview touched my heart. Your dad really did step up and become a leader, and it wasn't something that he maybe desired to do, but it was something God moved him to do.
Right.
And he came through for the whole family.
And he did say it takes courage to keep a family together.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that, because in God's eyes we are his family.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just it's God in action. And I love that the Western world has so many families that replicate that and really show the meaning of family in God's eyes.
Absolutely. And Becky, not only in the Western world, but, I think that these are lessons that we can take anywhere to anybody, because everyone has a family and a story to share, and that's how we learn and grow. Yeah. He did a great job.
Yeah, and by the way, the cake was great. It was delicious. So if anyone is looking for some wonderful recipes, be sure to email us at the email on the screen, and we'll get these books out to you. Join us next time. Come to the table, where we talk food, faith, and fellowship the Cowboy way.